10 years ago, my family was contemplating where to buy a home. All my life, I had lived in an urban neighborhood, and for this reason, my parents were attracted to the suburban and rural character that Walnut had to offer. The city of Walnut and Diamond Bar are both known for their small town, family-oriented feel. These cities are surrounded by rolling hills and very little commercial property. The residents of these cities enjoy the fact that they live very quiet lifestyles. However, that may soon all change. Self-proclaimed billionaire Ed Roski, CEO of Majestic Realty Company, is doing everything in his power to change what has always been. Ed Roski Jr.'s plan is to build an $800 million NFL stadium near the junction of the 57 and 60 freeways in the City of Industry. For this reason, I am here tonight to explain how the harmful effects of the stadium will obviously outweigh the potential benefits that Roski and his team claim it will provide. The construction of the stadium will produce detrimental effects to the local community, and for this reason, my main proposition tonight is that the fast-track development of the City of Industry Stadium should be halted. I have 4 supporting claims to support my proposition tonight. First, it will harm the local and state economy. Second, the environmental impact of the stadium is being overlooked because of the hasty Senate approval. Third, there is no guarantee that we will have a team. Fourth, the presence of sports venues usually creates higher rates of crimes in the local area. So, back to my first supporting claim, it will harm the local and state economy. First, I want to bring up property values. Property values, if this project continues, will decline. In February 2009, the City of Walnut contracted Cosmont companies to write up an economic analysis of the effects of the City of Industry Stadium and what it would have on the property values in the city. They stated, Walnut is a bedroom community of approximately 8,600 households with a relatively quiet neighborhood environment. In Cosmont's estimation, the project may contribute to a slight decline in some residential property values due to the disparate qualities of the two areas. Walnut is a family-oriented community known for its clean streets and peaceful surroundings. The project's presence could affect this environment with its anticipated air, noise, and light pollution impacts. A reduction in overall residential property values in Walnut would likewise reduce the amount of property tax collected by the city. Since the neighboring city of Diamond Bar is so similar to the city of Walnut, the same can be expected for the effects on their property values. Secondly, the economic boost claimed by the builders is exaggerated. In stark contrast to the results claimed by most prospective economic impact studies commissioned by teams or stadium advocates, the consensus in academic literature has been that the overall sports environment has no measurable effect on the level of real income in metropolitan areas. Dennis Coates and Brad Humphreys, associate and assistant professor of economics in the University of Maryland, Baltimore, conducted a study that included research examining all 37 U.S. cities that had one or more professional football, basketball, or baseball franchises at some point during the 1969 to 1996 period. They found that the professional sports environment in the 37 metropolitan areas in the sample had no measurable impact on the growth rate of real per capita income in those areas. Moreover, the professional sports environment has a statistically significant impact on the level of real per capita income in our sample of metropolitan areas, and the overall impact is negative. So, the presence of the professional and sports teams, on average, reduces the level of real per capita income in metropolitan areas. Second, to bring up my point on environmental impact, Roski claims that the stadium will utilize the latest environmental technology to set a new green standard for the NFL stadiums going into the future. However, Governor Schwarzenegger waived the environmental impact report, which details the kind of impact that the stadium would have on surrounding areas. Because of this, we will never know how the stadium would affect the environment. It makes one think if the stadium is so green and will utilize this latest green technology, then it's suspicious how Roski Jr. was so quick to throw money at the situation and the governor was so quick to flex his power. This is definitely a red flag that should signal the project is not environmentally beneficial to the area. Schwarzenegger praised the project, highlighting the fact that it will be the first stadium in the country to be certified as having a green building design. The stadium will be built into a hillside and will be powered by solar panels, but many environmentalists aren't swayed. Tina Andolina is legislative director of the Planning and Conservation League. She says throwing out environmental oversight to approve the project is an unprecedented move in state politics, one she warns that will return to haunt Californians. The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors also went on record on a motion by Supervisor Molina to oppose these end runs around California law. The LA Times quotes Supervisor Molina as writing, while there are many reasons to support the development of the new NFL stadium, there are just as many reasons to ensure that the project complies with the same environmental regulations that govern virtually all projects in California. Hospitals, police stations, freeways, and all sorts of valuable projects managed to be built without the necessity of CEQA exemption. Third, there is no guarantee that we will have a team. As of right now, there are greater priorities than finding a team to reside within the proposed stadium. There is an ongoing labor battle that has no sign of ending anytime soon. Essentially, NFL team owners want players to take less revenue than they do under the current labor agreement. Owners say that they have borne the cost of state-of-the-art stadiums, have missed out on new revenue, and even lost money in the recent years. Players keep 60% of total revenue now. Union leaders have said the league's new labor proposal amounts to an 18% pay cut. They want the owners to open their books to prove their financial strife. According to the San Gabriel Valley Tribune article written by James Wagner, this labor dispute is a debate that's been ongoing for months, and some say it could last past the end of the current labor deal. The deal owners and the players' union agreed to is set to expire in March 2011. Teams in the upcoming 2010 season will not have to pay a salary cap as part of the current deal. Mind you that these builders want to have a team in the stadium by 2011, which is not a realistic possibility right now. Mark Gannett, Chicago-based sports consultant and president of Sports Corporation, said he doesn't think a lengthy work stoppage is likely. He hypothesizes the deal will be done by summer 2011 after the current agreement expires in March of that year. Until the labor situation is resolved, however, Gannett said he doesn't think there is a chance that the NFL will allow a team to move. No major deal will happen until the labor situation is resolved. Needless to say, all of this uproar and all the money being spent on lawsuits could have been avoided. Lastly, the presence of sports venues usually creates higher rates of crimes within the local area. In his article entitled NFL Working to End Fan Violence, Bob Oates speaks of the issues that are bound to happen as a sports venue is built. He states, the rowdies are always a small fraction of the thousands at any stadium, but they always seem to be there. He goes on to say some football fans love to fight. More precisely, a minute percentage will pick a fight at the drop of a beer cup. Always have, and no doubt always will. Although this is a general statement, there is an undeniable truth to the notion that aggression increases when people are intoxicated. Both the city of Walnut and Diamond Bar property crime levels tend to be much lower than California's average level. The same data shows violent crimes tend to be much lower than California's average level. With the construction of the stadium, there is an overwhelmingly possibility that will soon change. And lastly, according to the City of Industry Stadium website, they are including in their plans to build a 30-person prison. The Walnut Sheriff Station has said that they will need to employ a substation at that site with a minimum of 24 officers, all of which will be paid with our residents' taxes.